What's going
Welcome,
on?
welcome, welcome. Tell them, Amir, what's today?
It's Motivational Monday, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we coming off what Talent has described as an anomaly.
Yeah.
Father's Day and Juneteenth on the same exact weekend. So it made for one of the dopest situations ever. For those of us who are unfamiliar with Juneteenth, and a lot of us were, let's just be honest,
Let's be honest.
it was an opportunity to find out about when we really did finally get out of slavery and the celebration that went along with that, 1865. So if you're not familiar with it, please do your due diligence, get your homework done, and find out about all of that wonderful stuff. And then it was Father's Day. This Father's Day was, for me, just one of those incredible moments in this regard. So, first of all, the weekend just went amazingly because several people who started out here as New Yorkers have now transplanted to other parts around the country, but snuck back home unbeknownst to me, only to hit me up and go, "Where you at? What you doing? Let's link up." So Friday, I'm running around Harlem. Some of my cats came up that I hadn't seen in a while. So I'm running around Harlem, hanging out with them, bouncing around from various spots, Social Corner, various other spots in Harlem. That was just his own amazing thing because now at 52 years old, I realize I don't have the staying power I used to have. So technically, right after dinner, I was ready to go home. It was a good night for me. We had already talked, we cracked jokes, I was good money. But they were persistent in trying to prolong the evening. So they was like, "What's the next spot? This is your hometown." I really didn't have a next spot. So that was a little bit of a trick question, but managed to slide into something else that the DJ was on point and had the place rocking. But the best part of Friday night wasn't that. Here's the best part. If you have not had the pleasure of being up in Harlem, especially in that 125th Street over where Red Rooster, Social Corner, and all that is, they put on a fireworks show on Friday night.
Nice.
So this wasn't a Macy's fireworks show, but it was enough of a fireworks show for you to feel as though, like, yeah, the city's opened back up. You know it's big when the police look like they're getting ready to race to where the fireworks are happening illegally, and they make the left at Albuquerque and then just keep going on to wherever they got to go. So that was Friday. Then Saturday, my childhood, one of my true childhood boys came up, lived in the same building, grew up together, linked up with him. Went to another close friend of mine's restaurant. If you haven't had the opportunity, by the way, Talent, we probably got to go down there and check it out. Boulevard Bistro, which is on 116th and 8th Ave, right across the street from Harlem Tavern. Literally, it's directly across
Why
the
that
street from
sound
Harlem
familiar?
Tavern.
I think I have.
But we went to Boulevard Bistro, linked up in there. Food was incredible. They got a lot of really great breakfast. They have dinner entrees too, but their breakfast is incredible. So linked up with my boys. We just caught up, and that was just joke central from start to finish. And then Sunday, I had the pleasure of hanging out with my eldest brother, who he's the oldest of us all, and he kind of set the precedence for all the stuff that everybody has seen us do, being the eldest in the family. And he and I don't get a chance to hang out that often. So my old neighborhood had a basketball tournament literally in the park that we grew up playing ball in. Some of the new young generation has now formulated a tournament that they're going to be doing yearly. And it was really cool because we got a chance to go back and just see all the cats that we grew up playing ball with. And you know, when you see the OGs and you kind of smile because now you technically are OG there and they are OOG, you just kind of laugh at the whole energy of it all. But the best part was one gentleman in particular, a cat named Kaz, who
What
we
up,
grew up with.
Sharonda? Shout out. Go
And
ahead.
Kaz, to me, was like the quintessential older guy who played ball, but talent. He was tall, slim, and he just had that smooth game. And when my brother and I both saw him, you know, I didn't expect him to really run. He was like, "Man, listen, the Sealy brothers is here gracing this event." He was like, "Bro, this is everything," and it was just dope, man. Catching up with him and, like I said, everybody else, and then made my way to Glenroy's. My cousin was hosting Glenroy's with Knuckles. My cousin Big Buddha, he was hosting
Oh
Glenroy's
yeah,
with
you had
Knuckles.
a good time. You was out.
So where we had a really good time, and what it was really dope was my brother. Like I said, my oldest brother was out with me. He doesn't hang with me as much, so he kind of saw the mayor in me. He was like, "Son, everywhere we went, nigga, you are the mayor. Like everybody rocks with you, no matter where we go." I say, "Hey, big bro, I got a little name in these streets, a little something, something.
I
Trying
got
to
a little name in these streets, son. Don't
little
play
name in
with
these
me, son.
streets." But it was a absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal weekend, man. How was yours, King?
Well, let me say it was in abundance. The last 10 days have been stupendous. So let me start off by saying, first of all, I got to shout out my girl, Tracy Knox, out in Detroit. She sees these shirts. She's always been sending me these shirts. Like, whenever you see me with these dope message shirts,
Yes.
pretty much most of them, come from Detroit. So she sent me this. I just got home today, right? So I'm celebrating myself, my own personal time, me and the dogs, Father's Day today. But I opened the thing, and I didn't even know this shirt was coming. It says Black King, the most important piece in the game, right? And then I look at you on the next screen over there, put your shirt up, and you got the New
Yes,
York
sir.
King of Comedy shirt on. Talent.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
you got the
sir.
Kings on two screens. I think that's phenomenal. So shout out to Amir. My thing was going for 10 days, right? That's why you heard me say somewhere in the middle of the week, like, yo, screw that. We want Father's Day week. You know what I'm saying? Because I had
Right.
started mentally being in that zone all week. I really have. So I get to the weekend, and this is it's crazy because it was a weird. Sometimes the routing works out perfect and it flows, and then sometimes it's a lot of back and forth ping pong stuff. So this was ping pong, but it's big holidays, Father's Day, Juneteenth, I had to do it. So after I do my thing Friday, I got to get up. I get like 2 hours of sleep. Go to the airport. I jump on a flight to take me to Tampa. So I get to Tampa, and my brother has this big Juneteenth celebration. He has an outdoor day thing with a bunch
Oh,
of vendors and free stuff for the community. But then in the nighttime, he has the Juneteenth comedy thing with, talent friends, the comedy takeover. But I can't even enjoy the afternoon festivities because at I had my live. We went live Saturday,
yes,
and then at
yes.
6 o'clock, I was producing. Shout out to the Jack and Jill Foundation in Nassau branch,
Mm,
Nassau, Long Island. I had to produce their comedy show from
okay.
from 6 to 8 on their
Wow.
thing. Right now, what was so dope about that? Shout out to my girl Donisha who pulled all that together, bro. The first hour was everything but us. The comedians, we did the second hour, but the first hour was so informative and so dope. It's on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, people, and pull it up. The Juneteenth, Jack and Jill, Juneteenth, culture and comedy. It's called that. It's up there now. But when I tell you, I learned a few things watching all the information parts, the videos they chose, the music thing. Everything was just synonymously bringing it all together for Juneteenth. Then I take over the second half as the host and the DJ, and I bring in my ladies, culture and comedy. These queens I had Hope Flood, I had
Mm,
Kelly Kells, I had our
mm.
girl Onika McLean, and I had my girl Shatara Curry. Everybody put a mud hole in this show. Let me tell you something. And they rocked through it, did a thing. Literally, when I signed off, I'm in my drawers, Zoom, so we do all this. I throw the pants on, the sneakers on, grab the towel, the bag of merch. I'm down front getting picked up to go down to the block, to the show. I get in there, and the spirit hits me, bro. The spirit hits me, and normally, my comedy takeover, I host it and I bring the comics. I had the comics. I had two guys fly in. I had three locals. We're in there. And it's like maybe 10, 15 minutes before the show, I just said, I called the audible. I did my Peyton Manning. I was like, said to my girl Alicia from Mount Vernon, I was like, yo, I need you to do me a favor. She said, what? I said, I need you to host. She said, for real? She was like, really happy to do it. She was like, for real? I was like, yeah. She said, what are you taking it easy? I was like, no, I'm going to close out. She was like, that's what's up. So she hosts. She brings up the other three and then brings me up as, fourth in the closer. I was in such a zone. That's why I'm telling you, the universe energy is real. The energy in this universe is real because out of nowhere, I just felt it on my spirit. I called the order board, I changed it. And when I went up there in that position and do it like that, it was the perfect show. Just, brought it all the way home, did what I got to do. I get again, 2 hours sleep, 5 a.m. we're in the lobby, we're going back to the airport because now I have to fly back for Father's Day. That was my Juneteenth. Now, Father's Day, I got 3 shows. I got to fly back to Philly, catch the train up to New Brunswick, do a 2:30 show. I get done about 10 to 5. I get in the car with AG. Shout out to my boy AG who rocked that show. And thanks for the ride, brother. He let me jump in the car with him because he was already going to Brooklyn. And I got over to Brooklyn with Ray DeJean, who'll be on the show a little later on. We do that. We got the outside cookout show going on. We got 6, 7 comedians go up. We co-hosted. Great, stupendous ass evening. Fathers galore. I mean, dude, if you could have seen the amount of fathers that came up between the Stress, Brooklyn, and Connecticut, bro, I got 1,000 fathers out collectively. So I leave, Ray DeJean thing. We do some giveaways. I had some extra, bottles around the house. Gave away some celebratory bottles to some fathers. Some T-shirts and all that stuff. Shouted out the merch. Let them see the show. Now I'm literally I'm gonna say it's 9:30. I'm about to leave. I leave 9:30. I got a good hour and a half to get to Bridgeport. I go up there now. Let me back this story up because I have to put this out there because it's Motivational Monday. A lot of people don't understand this about me, Amir. And let me say this because I know my baby mother watches this show and she need to hear this shit. I am the walking epitome of a certain type of focus. That when I go to and work zone and I do this comedy thing for real, especially when I'm part of the production and all this shit, that focus, that horse in the race with that shit, that be me. So sometimes people will take it the wrong way. Oh, you leaving, you disrespect you. I don't have the time. It's not a slight on any individual. And I hate that people sometimes will make it about them or them and me. It's not that at all. I'm so embedded in what I'm doing and focused. And I know that when I laid it out, when I said yes to 3 things, I knew that it had to run a certain way and I had to do things a certain way at time to get the hell out of it, to get it all done, smoothly as possible. So, she shows up to the thing, whatever. I ain't got the time of day, get a hug, get one, but damn, I said, hey, it ain't you. I'm working. And people, unfortunately, when you're in the business of A, entertainment, B, fucking laughter and fun, people don't look at your job like a real job sometimes. So it's like, well, damn, I'm like, yo, I got to go. You know what I mean? So I apologize for the abrupt leaving and all that. I had to. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the epitome of focus. And people don't understand this. It's not by chance that, think of all the shows you go to and go, damn, talent, you really funny. You was the funny one on the show. That shit don't happen by chance. That shit happens by that focus, by that hard work that's put in. That's why we do this show on Monday. I tell people every time, no matter whatever your thing is and that thing that you do, you got to fucking be the best, to stand out, to be talked about, to have staying power. That shit takes a lot of fucking work. And I'm sorry that sometimes people will feel slighted because the way you're moving out there and blah, blah, okay, cool, but it is not meant to be like that. So anybody, if you ever see me somewhere and it seemed like that, know that's what that is. Oh, he's focused, or there's a lot going on. Like Sharonda just put in the comments, there's a lot of moving parts, but people don't see all that. You see the fun part. So, a lot of times we just think that, hey, whatever, Johnny could come lately, whatever. No, it's a lot of focus in there. That's what we try to push through on Motivation Monday. So anyway, 3rd show, more of a private event. Some dude, his 55th birthday happened to be on Father's Day this year. It normally ain't. But like I said, it's an anomaly. Father's Day is never this late. It's so far back, what I'm saying, on the 20th, and it, falls right next to Juneteenth. That don't really happen, people. Usually Father's Day is the week before, but we do have those skip years. So that's what happened. So that private event went very well. I was a few minutes late, because of traffic and stuff like that. But again, God, it was a private event because they're more understandable than if it's a different type of
Yeah,
ticket
man.
event. A ticket event, they're at the mercy of the crowd. Private event, the crowd's at your leisure. Like, it's your thing. So whatever you got on the menu happens the way it falls, the way you let it fall. But a beautiful, splendid ass day when I tell you. Now, here's the thing. I get the call while I'm in New Brunswick. I get, of course, I'm on that early flight. So I'm there even before the doors open, right? So I'm sitting there next door getting a slice of pizza and some cold ass ice water because it was hot.
Yes, it was.
I'm sitting in there, and then my phone rings, and I see my comrade, one of my best friends of entertainment over the years, the fox that rocks the box. Everybody knows him from 98.7 Kiss, 105 Jams. Now he's on WBLS. He got his own syndicated show, his own podcast, the Jeff Fox Show. My man, my partner in crime, calls my phone and was like, "Hey, bro, I know you moving and shaking. I know how you get down as Father's Day." He said, "But I'd be remiss if I did not give you this call and you get an invite from me. I got my band back together. I got the yard decked out. I got the sound man out here. I don't went all out. We rocking in the yard. Rocking in his yard for Father's Day." Ladies and gentlemen, and he just had a birthday, so it was a continued celebration of the birthday into the Father's Day. Welcome to Motivation Monday show. The fox that rocks the box, Mr. Jeff Fox, joins us today. Bring him on in here. This is the fox that rocks.
Yes. Yes.
Cookout season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cookout shirt. Cookout cup.
That's what I should have said in the intro. When you hear this laugh, you know who this man is. You know what? Jeff, you have the number one most distinctive laugh in the fucking business.
Hey, man. It wasn't until I started working with talent that I knew the importance of the cookout shirt. You got to have that. You can't go through a summer without a cookout shirt on, bro. And the red cup. Oh,
happy birthday, Jeff.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you as well, Jeff.
Happy Father's Day.
Hold up. This dude is crazy.
Oh, man.
That laugh is infectious as hell. Hold up, Jeff, real quick. First of all, let's deal with birthday and Father's Day and then Juneteenth. First of all, what made you do that? Because I remember I used to tell Jeff. Jeff was one of them dudes. First of all, the man's a millionaire. Money over fit. But he got all the top of the line shit you can want in life, but won't really sit back, Amir, and enjoy it. Like me, I enjoy my house.
Yeah.
Jeff, we used to work in the radio station. They'd be like, a blizzard coming. Jeff go, fuck. I go, wow. Goddamn blizzard. We're going to be stuck. We can't do this. We can't do that. I said, shit. This gives me a day to enjoy my fucking house.
Right.
Everything going to be closed. Everything
stuck with me.
And Jeff was like,
he stuck with me. He said,
the
man,
next
Wednesday, you enjoy your house. And I, see, when I worked with talent more about 5 years, he's sitting right across from me, 5 years, and he's one of them guys that, he's the worldly man. He didn't been there and he didn't done that. So you just ask questions for 5 years. And been 5 years. Hey, Jameer, 5 years, I was like, okay. Right? So he said, yeah, man, this is the time to you enjoy your house. And I said, yeah, I'm enjoying my house. So that's when I started getting the big TVs and putting them on the wall, you know what I mean? And the big chair. I was enjoying my house. One time, talent celebrated his birthday. He started promoting it. And he's in May 9th, right?
Yep.
He started promoting it the year before, around about December 12th. It's coming. Birthday's coming, y'all. It's gonna be fire, right? And then I got talking about it with him, and I said, "Well, I don't really celebrate the birthday that much." I told him yesterday, he had a perplexed look on his face, like, you don't celebrate your birthday? Like he couldn't understand. He said, how you don't celebrate your day? I started thinking about that. So I went especially after the pandemic, when it was like everybody was locked up, outside was closed. So we went out. Hey man, we went out yesterday, all out.
Paint the picture, man. Paint the picture.
I got, you know what? Woohoo! It was fire. The whole yard, tables, tablecloth, chairs you got to get from the church. You know when you got to go get chairs from somebody else. Y'all got any chairs? We got any chairs? Got any tables? Got any chairs? We got anybody got any chairs? We had chairs. My brother and sister was in. We had all the neighbors in there. The band came with all their people. All these other people that I didn't even know came. People walking up in the yard. It was beautiful, man. Then we hit hard. You know, and it was, you know, it's hard. They said, you know, the party's rocking when the cops come a knocking. Y'all gonna have to turn that down. Man, come on in the back, man, and grab a cookout cup.
Oh, man.
Get a red cup, man. You know, we had a ball. But I knew Talon would be hearing about it, so I said I better let him know, because I knew he wasn't around. I knew he was busy. Because Father's Day, I usually working with him on a project or something.
Right.
But he had to get the invite, you know, because it's epic. Jameer was epic.
Okay.
You know, next year I want y'all. We're gonna do something that we can be involved together.
We ain't gonna wait till next year. I'm gonna get your ass in the next month or two. Watch I get you involved in the next month or two. Now, Jeff, ladies and gentlemen, for people that's out of state and all over the place, if you're not in one of the syndicated cities that he do his thing in, I call this man, Amir, I call him the Michael Jordan of radio. And I don't do that lightly. You know what I mean? I know what greatness is, and I sit around and I watch stuff, and I could see greatness right away. That's why Amir,
he got it wrong.
Philly, the whole family, we became tight because real recognized real quick.
Mm.
And that's a great family. And I'm like, I gotta be cool with this family. This is a great family.
Amir.
Just like that easy, boom, like that.
It ain't hard to pass the ball to somebody that's all I'm doing is pass the ball. I'll tell you, I know we're gonna get off the subject. Tell you this. You never knew we do these cranks, you never knew what talent was gonna do. You know what I mean? And so folks would call up with these scenarios, right? And we did a million of them. Everybody got their favorite. But one of mine that I just can't ever forget. A girl called up to crank her father, who had just retired as a boiler man. He was a boiler man. He was out. He was done. And she said, well, just see if you can get him back for one more job. It's a talent on the phone with her. He's like, hey, man, get that voice. Hey, man. Hey, can you just go? I got a boiler problem. Can you just come in and just look at it? And the guy said, man, I'm out, man. I'm retired. Come on, man. No, man, for real. I'm out. I can't do it, man. I'm done with that. Oh, come on, man. Just one more job. Just one more job. And I appreciate it. No, I'm out, man. Really, thank you. You know, I'm just one. Come on, man. Just one more job. And that went back and forth for a few minutes. You know, and I'm laughing. I don't know which way he gonna go with this. And out of nowhere, he says, you know what? You's the nasty son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Now he's like, well, you're the nasty son of a bitch for calling me a son of a bitch. And now the daughter jumps in, okay, he got mad now. Jameer, you talking about laughing? You talking about because it went from come on, man. Just one more job, man. Just one more. Man, you know what? You're the nasty son of a bitch. And that's our 5 years.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Hold up. My favorite, Jeff. I got like about literally. I got 140 funny ass Jeff Fox memories, right? But this one by far is up at the top 10, yo. We are, to paint the picture for everybody, we would Kiss FM in the mornings, and we're right across from Hot 97. So there's like a space, just like enough for a small office, like in the middle between the two studio doors, right? So we come out one morning, and you know, we got all the R&B over here, they got all the hip hop over here. So you know, while we doing Frankie Beverly Mays interviews, they got the LLs, the Wyclefs, and you know all that shit. So one morning, I don't even know who the guests are. I'm going around the corner to go to the bathroom. I go around the corner. I hear the most thuggish motherfucker say, "Fox that rock the motherfucking box." Right? Now, Jeff ain't got a hip-hop bone in his body. Jeff said, "Hey, man. Hey, buddy." Yo, I turn around the corner, Amir. It's Cool G fucking rap. Anybody ever see Cool G rap? First of all,
no,
Cool
it
G
was
rap
just
on the fucking
ice.
street.
It was just
ice. Just ice
just
from the
ice.
fucking streets. They got the fucking
Yeah.
scar coming around the shit. Motherfucker clearly been shanked. You only get this shit in Prison Break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then motherfucker hardcore, all this go. Fox that rock the fucking box. And this guy comes back with, "Hey, buddy." I said, "You can't write this shit, bro. You can't write this shit." Jeff, I had to get you on here to say happy birthday, first of all, my brother.
Thank you.
I had to say thank you for all you do and did, man, because let me put it this way. Jeff said to me, "T, if you come on board," and this is year one, because it was supposedly on the books as an experiment I'm on the show, the Wake Up Club. And he's like, "T, I'm telling you." And this is why you Jordan. Because what you say, I don't even know if you remember. I'm sitting there in this meeting, and Barry Mayo, shout out to Barry Mayo, Toya Beasley, the GMs and the program director, and they sitting there, and the whole meeting, they're pitching it to me as this experiment. We're gonna try this shit out because they were syndicated. You had Isaac Hayes, you had all this shit going on. Tom Joyner, we taking over for Tom Joyner, so they're going back to a local group. You got Jeff Fox, you got Shayla, you got the late great Bob Slade. This is all the fucking experience, but this what makes him Jordan. They're pitching to me, yo, I'm telling you, this money ain't great right here, you know, but we just want to try it. I guarantee you, bro, if this worked 1 year, we promise we'll take care of you, right? So Jeff is like nudging me like, "Sign that shit," right? So I'm like, but it ain't really a lot of money. It's sign that shit. Soon as the meeting over, we're walking in the hall, and he says, "Motherfucker, we about to make millions." He said, "Don't listen to that 1 year shit. Watch this shit." And never has anybody ever told more honest truth in my fucking life. We crushed that shit. Yeah. We was the only fucking radio, especially, I mean, of all, but in urban, for an urban morning show, for the books to come back, the ratings, and us to beat Howard Stern. That was fucking amazing.
We did. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it again too.
We're gonna do it again.
We're gonna do
it. My Jeff Fox moment. The one thing I give Jeff credit for, no matter where I have seen this man, and I have seen Jeff at Circle of Sisters. He had a comedy joint that he did in conjunction with another DJ that I knew that they, it was his show, but bring the comedians. No matter where I've seen Jeff, he always, one, acknowledges me, and we stop and have a conversation, and he makes sure to ask about my family and how we doing. So, Jeff, I salute you, and I love you.
We got that history, man. You know,
the bad dude, man.
You were very close to one of my producers back in the day, Brother Briggs.
Yes.
And Briggs loved you, man. You know. So that's how I really got to know you, through Briggs, man. You know, so everywhere we went, you were there. We met in the middle of the floor. We had to hash it up a little bit. You know what I mean? We're gonna do that again too. We're gonna do that again. I'm glad you guys do this every week. Thank you.
It's gonna happen and come into fruition because you are that dude. I wanted to salute your birthday. I wanted to salute your excellence, brother. I wanted to say happy Juneteenth. We got that to be official. Yep. And brother, happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah, man. You too, T. You too, man.
Your boys are grown, man.
Yep. Me, T. We watched our kids grow up for those 5-6 years, I watched Talon's son literally turn into a man. And he used to crack me up because we all have our fathering traits. Everybody, I learned a little bit of fathering from him. He learned a little bit from me. I'll never forget one time young Talon didn't do something right in school, and off the balcony, the PlayStation went. And all I remember is Talon said when that thing hit the ground, his son went, I said, you know what? That's a good idea. I can't wait to toss my son's PlayStation out the window.
Oh, man, listen.
Classic.
Hey, many more. Jeff, thank you for popping in for me, brother. I appreciate you, man. And let's get some work done this week, man.
Let's get it done. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
See you, T. See you, Jameer.
Hey,
all right.
In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the Fox that rock.
They're right.
Jeff Fox, everybody. Thank you,
Jeff Fox.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys. Bye.
All right.
Oh my God, yo! When I tell you, bro, and I don't throw that shit around lightly, bro. When I tell you, the Michael Jordan of the shit, and the reason I say that is because anybody can throw a voice on and entertain you through a speaker and the microphone and everything, but it was what he did that the people didn't see. It was how good he was at executing radio, like behind the scenes. That when it came through the speaker, it was at a perfect level, time-wise, like punch-wise, like even, what he taught me, and I in turn started teaching my fellow comedians that went to radio, was how to, because we tell jokes a certain way on stage. First of all, you have a certain cadence and timing on stage that you don't have that kind of time on the radio. So it has to punch so much faster, and points and all types of things that have to happen. Yeah, you have the humor in you, but he shows you the radio structure, how to make it work and pop. And the perfect example, and I'll tell people this, and I told this story like twice in the last 10 days that they never believe this story. He's so good, Amir. This is how good he is. After about, I want to say the 5 years in, coming up to year 6, it was time to do another contract. But they were trying to sell the station, which you see they actually did to Disney. So they were trying to lease or sell the station. And I had one of the biggest contracts in the room. So the first guy to get not re-signed was me. It was like, all right, we're just going to start. We got to cut these contracts. So I get cut. So Jeff finds out. And he's like, you got to be fucking kidding. Like, he felt like they chopped his wings off. You know what I mean? I got the funniest dude in New York on my fucking show. And y'all just chopped them. And I'm supposed to keep floating like this. So Jeff, we have a little sidebar after the show and talking, and he says, T, listen to me. He said, if you can give me 3 days, weekdays, mornings in the week, this is how good he is, man. He said, I can make it sound like this show's the same. They won't even know a fucking light bulb changed in the room. Like, it will sound the same like you're on the show. Yeah, you're not really here, and you're obviously not under the contract, but out there, you're still here. So you still get to plug all your events you got going on. You're getting free ads and all this shit. So I was like, all right. So I start going in there too. Sometimes I have 3 days, whatever, and we'll record a lot of shit while I'm in there, and he'll be able to chop and do that magic shit he do when you ain't looking. Dude, for 2 more years, Amir, people thought I was still on the radio, still in the show, on doing my thing, right? Now, here's the kicker. 2 years later, the company feel like they want to part ways with Jeff and go in another direction. So in the room is all of us, and they had added my girl Rakia May, shout out to Rakia, and myself, and they call us in a meeting at the end. First of all, they let him go, and we couldn't believe it. We sit in the room like, he packing the shit. Great working with y'all. T, I call you later, boom. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Right after that, HR comes, gets us, takes us to the management. We go in the room, Rakia and myself, and they go, yeah, so this is what we want to do. We're going to go in another direction, and you two guys are going to have the morning show going forward, and blah, blah, blah. All these plans and shit, right? I'm listening to all this shit, Amir, and not even Rakia knows. It's just me that knows. I'm like, nigga, I don't even work here. telling me all this shit I'm about to do. And yeah, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like this, I mean, I said, and the lady goes, so what you think about that? I said, I said, no, it sounds great. You're gonna have to hire me first. The lady said, you funny motherfucker, stop. I said, no, seriously, I don't work here. She was like, what? I said, I don't work. She said, the fuck out. I said, I haven't worked here in the last 2 years. I just become. She calls in the people, the accountant and all. They come in. James Harris, he works here, right? They was like, that ain't been on the books in 2 years. She was like, you gotta be, oh, how the fuck you pull that off? And I was like, yeah, long story, whatever. But long story short, I get rehired, right? Now I'm back in there, and it's Rakia and myself for the next year. And then that goes well that I end up getting my own show in the nighttime. You know what I mean? But imagine how good you have to be to pull something like that off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's just magnificent, man. And he called me, and I said, this is perfect because we wanted to talk about celebration of Juneteenth. We wanted to talk about being motivated about that accolade. And what I did is say the other day on our show when we were talking, I was telling people like, yo, don't get caught up in everything at once because there's a lot of shit that we know that the nation owes us as Black people. You're not going to get everything at once, but goddamn it, celebrate when you get anything. I don't know about you. When I get anything, I celebrate.
Yes.
When a motherfucker hire me and say, hey, you're going to make $500 and he do well and go, I put 1,000 in there. We did well. Thank you. I don't get caught up in all the people who didn't give me 1,000. I love this nigga right now.
You know, you make such a great, valid point with that specific analogy. It's so funny because to your point, and with this weekend, like you said, being twofold, Juneteenth and Father's Day, I was saying the same thing. I said, you know, we tend to get sidetracked by, you know, various things. And I know for a fact, one thing in particular, I told you one of our shows a while back. I had, matter of fact, my daughter's birthday weekend, Tommy Lee, who's part of the Violators, saw me, hit me with the Amir. I love seeing you. There's just something about your energy. There's something about you in particular that I love. So we in Glenroy's yesterday. Two of my boys that I went to high school with, my man Tootie and my boy Thomas was in there. So I see Tootie. He comes out. We smoking cigars on the deck, whatever. And he said to me, he said, yo, Amir, same thing. He said, bruh, it's something about you, man. When you are around, there's a synergy and an energy, brother, that I can't explain. And because it happened in the last 3 weeks to, like you said, you know, going with the 10 days that you've been, right. It just blew me away because in all fairness, all I try to do, man, is show up to things. And I just want to see people engaged. I want to see people having a good time. I want to see people enjoying life. And I think we all have the ability to be role models to one another just by simply being the best versions of ourselves we can be. Like I said, I'm an older brother with me yesterday. I had on shoes. He had on some things that look similar to shoes. Now, he was paying attention to all the OGs that was in Glenroy's. And he said to me,
he said, say some things that look
close to, yeah, similar to shoes. Because they look more like Wallaby Clarks, to be honest with you. But he said that they were sneakers, so I'm like, okay. So, but he was looking at all the older guys that was in there. And these are all former basketball players, cats that played with Malik. I played against some of them, so forth and so on. Everybody to a man had on sneakers. So he said, yo, Amir, he said, it's always like this? I said, yeah. I said, because most of these dudes can't give up being 22. These niggas is 55, 60 years old. I said, they all hit me with I got bad feet. I said, you do know they make shoes with soft bottoms now with arch protection for you guys. Yo, Sid was dying. He said, yo, this is why I love you. I said, big bro, I'm here just showing these people it can be done. It's not always about what you call it. It's just about how we do it. And like I said, the next generation, our job is to hopefully put forth things that allow the next generation to know it's okay to age gracefully. It's okay to be older. Right. All these things that we just don't do anymore. Like I said, my old park, we saw guys, again, 20, 30 years I hadn't seen some of these guys. And I was just, happy to see them genuinely. Hugs was legitimate. Cats was just, we all smiling at each other. And then, I just see the joke start up. Man, you gray? The last time I see you, you didn't even have facial hair. Hey, bro, it's been a long time. What you want me to say? You know what I mean? But it's just like you said, it's that kind of synergy and energy that we have to utilize on our everyday going forward. You got to look at all your small victories and know that each and every one of those small victories, in a sense, go to a larger victory. Don't worry about it, because I'm telling you, when you stand back and you look at that whole picture, you're gonna be like, wow, I had wins all over the place.
Right.
Now look at this thing. But you gotta acknowledge those wins. You know what I mean?
I'm laughing when you first brought it up and you was like, yo, people was in town. He was like, yo, what's good? What you doing? I'm laughing because that right there is funny in itself, because that shit could go either way. Like the right people come, you like, oh shit, my people in town. Then the wrong people come and be like, yo, what's up? You be like, I got somebody's at the house. You make shit up that it can't be true. I got. I'm putting a new roof on the house today myself. No. I'm not putting the shingles on. I'm taking the whole roof off. And I'm putting another roof.
Yo, T, to your point, that was the best part of it too, because when you grow up, especially when you get an opportunity to go back to your old neighborhood, you have your various friends and associates, and each and every one of them has their own story that you know of personally. So you got your guy who's the story guy. This dude can't tell a story without telling you 500 things before he gets to the actual point. You'd be like, bruh, can we just get to the story? Then you got your one man. He been a liar since y'all was playing around in the sandbox. This is just what he does. You know it. He knows it, but he gonna tell you, yo, son, I was down here. I was on my way. The plane got stopped in Dubai. Then what happened was, when we came through LAX, there was a whole nother hold up there. You like, bruh, you didn't do none of that. I don't know why you using that as a what you call it. And then you just got your cool dudes who, they whole situation is just cool.
Right.
This nigga's still cool. For 50 years later, he's still a cool dude. You like, this nigga don't say much. He just do the cool shit. So it was, like you said, it was a culmination of that for the weekend. And that's what made the weekend to me so dope, was just to get back in that energy, to laugh. Cats talking about grade school, cats talking about Skelsies, just everything. And then to go back to our old neighborhood, which, has dramatically changed. They changed the park. They actually redid our park. So that was really, really cool. And our building, the building I literally grew up in, from, my understanding, is now has a lot of Africans in it. So to see all of these these cats made me look light skinned. That's how chocolate they was. They was outside, and all of them were ranging in size and age. And I'm looking at these kids. I'm like, how old are you? 9. This nigga is 6'12". I'm like, nigga, you're 9? What are they feeding you? Just retarded.
Yo, remember back in the day when they used to do the playgrounds over, and they actually used to do them for us. Now,
Yes.
if your playground get done over, you about to leave. You about to get kicked out of that neighborhood.
Exactly.
When they do some new shit now, you about to be the hell out. Speaking of doing stuff over, let's bring our next guest in, because I'm hearing from the producer that the connection may be a little off, but we're gonna try to see what it is. Entrepreneur great, promoter great, turned comedian who's been ripping up the stand-up scene to the point where he's getting booked on shows in comedy clubs, everything that I do. And it's funny because I've known this man my whole career. So it's going on 30 years. I've known him going on 30 years. And this guy back then was solely just a promoter putting on the show. You know what I mean? So he would book me on everything. Now, fast forward, I'm booking him on shit. You know what I mean? So crazy how this shit turns. But icon in the industry, period, with 30 plus years with Video Music Box. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The one and only Ray Dijon is in the building from Laughaholics and Ray's place. See if we get a connection on Ray. Hopefully, he said he got a bad connection, so he might not be coming in. But Ray Dijon is with Laughaholics. Hold on a second. Okay, no, it's bad. No mic, no pick. Okay. All right, so I'll hit him up, producer, Prophet Pete. Send him a message if you can. Well, I'll text him in a minute and let him know that I'll wait till I'm gonna tell him he got a bad connection. We'll get him in at another time, hopefully before the show's over. But I'm hitting him right now. Bad connection, bro. See if you need Wi-Fi. Which is crazy. He must be out in the streets. Um,
Yes, sir.
but yeah, I want to shout him out because I love this guy is one of my components. You know, one of my components is a major component for him as well, and that's uh, the fact of where you can create off of nothing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
His go getterness and his creativity and his thought process. Like, he thinks outside the box. Like, a lot of times I'll look at a thing, I could walk in a room and I could just see what I could do with that room. And he does that as well. So what he did is he has a storefront and on Willoughby Street in Brooklyn, right off of Flatbush, right at the corner of Willoughby and Flatbush. And it used to be his dry cleaners. He changed it over recently, a couple of months ago. He said, you know what? I'm just going to make it urban retail because all of us got so much merch and clothing lines and stuff like that. And it's going to be a place people can come who can't go online, who don't have a credit card maybe or whatever, and want the stuff, whether you're here or not. Now I got, sure, you can go get some Walkerware. You can go hit Door to Line, My Line, whatever you want. You know, It's Just Comedy hat, a mug or whatever. So all that stuff is in there. And then he had this big open space between his store and the next building. Just a clean ass open space. And he looked at it one day and said, damn, you know what? He said, T, that space next to me, man, you know, I could throw some shows in there. I could get 100 and some people in there, right? And I said, yeah, you can. He was like, let me see something, man. Let me check with the landlord of the place and see what happens. So this is how smart Ray thinks. He talks to the landlord and he's like, oh yeah, I'll rent it to you for how many hours? I'll get to you the hours for this amount. And Ray was like, well, let me ask you something. How much is if I leased it, like I leased the store? And the amount it was to lease for a month, he was like, dude, it don't make sense for me to pay him the one-time rental fee when I could lease this bitch month to month and throw as many shows as I want in here. And that was cost effective. And he did that. And when you see the finished product, everybody can go to his IG page, Ray Dijon, RayDejon, Ray Dijon. And you can see video footage of it. You can look at, you know, the stage. Actually, I got a quick couple of snippets I'm going to post when we get off of here and on the air, because I think that entrepreneurship is everything. That's what Motivation Monday is about. You know, an entrepreneur people, we don't usually get the credit until down the line. But that's the biggest in business. That's probably the biggest risk-taking move you can make, is to go out on your own. And I'm not talking about, and this is no disrespect to the entrepreneurs who got a bank loan or got other partner, whatever the case may be, and collected money or borrowed or whatever, because there's different ways to do these things. But what I'm saying is, a person that takes their own and bets on themselves, that's the biggest, is the biggest risk take you can do. Two, it's the biggest form of flattery you can give yourself. It's the bet on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that one is by far not only is the greatest thing that you could do, the reward is even greater.
Yeah.
To a point that you made a minute ago, with saying how down the line, you know, eventually people then say, oh my God, this is, you know, what it is now. But do you remember when it started and it was only this? And I think that, to your point, that's one of the things that we have to get comfortable with or uncomfortable with. It just depends on what perspective you're looking at it from, is being entrepreneurs again. It's taking and betting on yourself versus, you know, betting on just everybody else and everything else. When I was coming home yesterday, it's funny, me and my older brother was having a conversation in the car about that. And we were saying, you know, with all of the amazing things that everybody's doing in entertainment, doesn't make a difference what form of entertainment it is. We have to now do a better job of having these spaces ourselves. Why? Because at the end of the day, most of us, talent included, Rob, you know, the list goes on and on and on. You guys, because you travel around, you know, the country and around the world, you get to know what good food is like. You get to know what good ambiance is like and all these various things. So now it only makes sense that you have physical spaces that covet the things that you guys do. So even if we're not doing comedy, cats are still coming through because we know the food is off the chain. We like your looks. And I was in there, the food is good. The ambiance is good. You come have a drink. The music selection that they play is always on point. we that's something that is embedded in us as a group of people, no matter what anybody else says, which is the real reason why, to another point Talon made a little while ago, when certain things start popping up in your neighborhood, you know they're getting ready to try to put you out the neighborhood. Starbucks is number one, by the way. If you ever see Starbucks cropping up in your neighborhood, they getting ready to try to put you out of that neighborhood. And the reason why, and I hadn't thought about this till, again, my older brother shared this with me. He said, Amir, think about it. Starbucks coffee is like $6 a cup, or I don't even know because I don't drink coffee. But he said, "What regular folk is paying $6 for a cup of coffee, dog?" And I didn't really think about that because, like I said, I don't drink coffee. But after I had the chance to think about it, I'm like, he's absolutely right. Most of us want to go to the bodega. I don't even know how much it is in the bodega, but I
Dollar
figure it's a
50,
couple of
dollar
dollars.
50.
See? You know, a couple of dollars. And you go to the bodega, you get your coffee, you rip and run, you're on onto the. But in Starbucks, it is $6 or $7. You looking like what? It's a cup of coffee. They put liquor in here? Like
True.
I'm confused. But it goes to stands to reason that when you see and you start understanding the dynamics of how neighborhoods switch over and the things that they do that bring those things to light for you, you got to really start paying attention. But the biggest thing, to again Talent's point, is us doing entrepreneurial things where you take advantage of not only your talents, but you bring it to the world in a way that is beneficial and allows the world to come to life and to grow as well. And that's that. Like you can't beat that with a baseball bat. Every day, this is somebody who I've been admiring from afar. Issa Rae. Like I've just been watching her rise through the rankings when she
Right.
had a show, and then obviously she just wrapped up her show that was on HBO. I know she's working on some new projects, but I do a lot of that. When I'm home, I'm looking at all of these people and the way that they've maneuvered, like you said, these various avenues, and how impressive those those journeys have been. Because for each and every one of us, we're scared to death. A good portion of us, we have regular jobs. Some of us have city and government jobs, which obviously are amazing, because if you have one of those, the benefits and once you retire is even more is even that much more incredible. For those of us who don't have those, who have regular corporate jobs and things like that, you become complacent. You get happy with showing up to work every day. They give you a paycheck. You go home. You invest in your 401k and so forth and so on. But the reality of it all is, most of us are dead tired of that. We hate going to the same damn job every day. We hate half the people who we work with. You've all wanted to scream on your boss once or twice, even smack somebody if it's gone that far for you. But the reality of it all is, you got to figure out how to start figuring out other things that you do phenomenally, bring those to light, and then I'm telling you, watch you catch that spark and the world go crazy because they love what it is you brought to the world, man. It doesn't get any better than that. That's why hanging out with this guy for the last year and a half, whether y'all notice or not only have I learned so much, but I'm just soaking up everything that the man has allowed me to see and be a part of, and the new, found friends that I've gained, and colleagues and stuff. Because without Talent, I'm telling y'all, he could tell you the only time we'd have these conversations is when I linked up with him and me and him
Right.
sitting having sidebars,
Yeah.
and nobody else knew what these conversations were about. We get in depth and
Oh,
things
that's
or
a fact.
whatever.
But let
And
me say this. And this is why I bring this up. And I'm going to say this because we winding down. So I'm going to say this to leave you about 3-4 minutes to go and close. The reason I say the ultimate of betting on yourself is this: corporations have made billions and billions of dollars betting on you. They have made billions and billions of dollars themselves as a corporation by betting on who? Betting on you. And you won't even turn around and invest, I don't know, your $4, $5, $6,000 in yourself to become that million or billionaire eventually down the line because you bet on you. We are so quick to sell ownership to us. See, this is what people don't understand, that this is a capitalistic slavery too. Like, people think slavery's, when they think slavery, you're in a cotton field, webs on your back, ripped clothes, sandals, bleeding hands, a white man on the horse whooping you and yelling at you and fucking your black woman in the quarters. And yeah, that's slavery, but that's not the only form. It's 2021. And in a capitalistic environment like the capital of the capitalism, which is here in America, the new slavery is a financial slavery, meaning I know what you're capable of. I know your worth. But if I can get you to sign that over to me, I reap the ultimate benefits, and I'll pay you a percentage of all this money that I'm bringing in on your back. We just finished crying and moaning about getting our freedom. Juneteenth, we built this country. We did this, we did that. And yet, you still have a ton of us, black people, scared to bet on themselves and go out the window. Because you can't tell me everybody, whether they act on it or not, has that passion inside of them and that thing that they wanted to do or think they can do. You know, I could do this. Everybody, you got the great cooks of the world. You got the great sews and stitchers of the world, you know, that can have their own clothing line. You know, you have great orators that can get into the poetry or author book and write books and, you know, audio books and all that stuff. But you got people that can do any and every. You got people who are good at things like event planning. You got people who can decorate the shit out of a living room and a bathroom and a kitchen and you know, all of these things are jobs and situations where people are making millions off of it, and they're paying the people who are really good at it, who are really doing the legwork, small percentages of what's coming in. When you bet on yourself, not only are you your own boss, you're living a dream, for one. And for two, if you have the perseverance, and you're not, see, the problem with a lot of people, they don't have perseverance, they don't have patience. You know, I get it all the time in my line of work. There may be a comedian on my radar, and I'm like, yo, soon I'm a book so-and-so. But if they see a flyer for now, and they not on it, they got attitude. Yo, man, what the fuck? Why I can't get on one of the shows? Da, da, da. And I'll just let them vent for a while before I jump in and go, actually, I was going to call you to do next month. Oh, word? Oh, I was until that. So fuck off. Like, you have to have patience. You know what I mean? You know, everybody don't move on the same schedule. I tell people this all the time. We all move on God's schedule. You can have your calendar, your little schedule all you want. And you know that saying, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the ultimate schedule is God's schedule. You know what I'm saying? Look, so my daughter and friends make sure they get paid for their master's degree, you know, that they earn. Exactly. Like whatever it is that you do, bet on yourself, go get that, be that. Because I guarantee you, if you don't, there's somebody out there willing to invest in you because he knows he's going to make the bigger profit off of it. And it's your idea, it's your skill, it's your calling or whatever. And that person's the facilitator. That's all. And he got all the money, i.e. record labels, i.e. movie production companies. All of these people are the least talented people in the game, but they're willing to bet on it. And the people who are willing to bet reap the benefits.
That is, look, I don't even know if I can add anything to that other than, as always, this is true story, other than, again, going back to what I said a little while ago, we really have to understand the power is within each and every one of us. And when I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly. You may be thinking to yourself, as he just said, I can't do it. Why? Even if you start doing it on a smaller time basis, after time and over time, trust me, it'll grow. I can honestly tell you, there's people who I've befriended again in the last year and a half that I didn't think I would ever befriend, but it's been because of this beautiful medium right here. And in all fairness, this gentleman here telling me, no, Amir, people like hearing you. They want to hear what you got to say, brother. So get on here, say what you say, and let the rest of it take care of itself.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to come to, grips with that, because in my heart of all hearts, I'm the behind the scenes cat. Talent could tell you, I've been to a million things that he's done that nobody knew I was there or who I was, because I don't talk about it and I don't say anything unless you know.
But just as simple as that, Amir, somebody could hear you, right? Hear all your ideas, all your cadence, how you talk, whatever, and just go somewhere else and do their best impression of your thing. And next thing you know, they're Walter Cronkite, right?
Yes.
And all they did was go sit around Amir on a daily basis, buy you food or drink. If you look at the movie about Dolomite, that's how Dolomite got on. There was another gentleman wino, if you will. And he would go buy him his wine and sit around and put the tape recorder on and just listen to him and mimic it. And he became that character. And he made millions. He became that dude. But that's what I mean. He reaped the benefits of another real person. Whatever, how entertaining that person was, he reaped the benefits of that, not the original person. You have to, people. I know we run out. Yeah, I know we run out of time at the end of the show, but you have to be willing to bet on yourself. If you don't, someone will come along. Two things: either someone will come along and bet the money for you and reap the benefits, or you can't expect somebody to invest in you if you don't want to invest. I see it all the time. I see people go and try with proposals and be like, yo, this thing right here, man, if I had $100,000, blah, 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 blah. And the guy is talking to a guy who can invest $100,000. And I was in a meeting more than 2 times where the person with the money goes, so all you need is 100 and then get popping? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you 85. You put up 15, let's get it popping. And the motherfucker who I did this go, yo, you ain't got 100? Motherfucker. That man got 85. And you won't invest 15 to meet him right there at 15% in something that you're supposedly sure of or believe in? You can't expect nobody to bet on you if you won't bet on you, bro.
True story. Never a true story told. Motivational Monday. We do this each and every week, and especially much more so now because we realize the value of it. We thank each and every one of you. I promise you, I learn and leave this so uplifted and in so much good energy. So it carries on through the rest of the week for me. But it's all because of this day and the way this week starts with that gentleman there, talent. So I always encourage y'all, again, it's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. So go out there, invest in yourself, believe in yourself, do what you do more so than anybody, and let the chips fall where they may. You'll see over the course of time, all kind of amazing things will happen. And there's something else Talent said earlier today, we doubling back on. Enjoy the small victories. Stop waiting for this colossal, magnificent thing. The small ones are where all the joy is. Because I'm telling you, when you look back, you're going to see how big it really was because of all of the small things. It's the little things that make things great. The big ones just happen to be collateral damage. I love you guys. Always, always, always. T, salute, King.
You already know.
It's Monday, baby. We gonna make it do what it do.
Hey, and this has been a special edition, man. The celebration of Juneteenth, the celebration of Father's Day weekend, and all that good stuff. Everybody keep your head high. Know that you got Amir and Talent on your side. We love you. Ain't a damn thing you could do about it. Peace, King.
Peace, King.